An injury of such severity could not possibly slip by without causing a bit of a fuss. But the wound appears to be fresh. He was burned recently. And while the wound is indeed small, it has left a distinct burn mark. That means this was an especially severe burn. What does that mean for us? For example, oh yes, let me give you the conditions that would have to be present for a burn like that to form. You would have to press against a hot surface for at least 3 seconds at 90 degrees Celsius. Holy shit, that's hot. Whew. One probably wouldn't be able to help but let out a scream from the pain. I've been undercover at La Cuentos for weeks, and I have never heard any screams like that. As a waiter of the restaurant in question, I can confidently assure you of that. Weren't you focusing on your detective work? Well, we're getting somewhere. Hi! Indeed, that's why this is so strange. I agree with Detective Hosonaga. If you were to press your skin down on such a hot plate, you would have cried out in pain. It's just human instinct. Actually not, you wouldn't even be able to push it onto it for 3 seconds. The moment your skin came into contact with something that hot, you would instinctively pull away. But the detective didn't hear any screams. What's even stranger, on that day I didn't hear anything like that either. What? If he had just accidentally dropped his hand on the hot plate for 3 seconds, can you really call it an accident if you leave it there for 3 seconds? At the time, the witnesses were me, the soldier, and the antique shop owner. Needless to say, all of us would have heard a scream if it had happened. Isn't that right, prosecutor? Huh? Well, yes, that's true. Then it begs the question, why didn't we? Why did none of us hear Dr. Watson scream? Naruhodo, what are you getting at? I can't believe this. Even I had no idea we would reach this kind of conclusion. But it seems that all of us were wrong. May have fallen victim to an inconceivable trap. I can only think of one possible explanation for this contradiction. When the professor burned his wrist, he was completely oblivious, dozing off. Obviously, he was already dead. The gunshot was literally just to pin the blame on somebody else. Even when his wrist was pressed onto the hot iron plate, he still managed to be silent. A scenario like that would be impossible. That is, if we ignore the obvious implication. The obvious implication? Do you mean... Yes, he must have already been... dead. Already? Dead? Ooh. There's no other way to see it at this point. On that day, when the beefsteak was brought to Dr. Watson's dining table, the doctor was already dead. What? No. How? It can't be. Order, order, order. Just what in heaven's name does this mean? Haven't we been operating on the assumption that the victim was killed by a gunshot? Indeed so, Your Honor. Don't be misled. That student's outrageous claims are nothing but nonsensical attempts to twist the truth. The one twisting the truth is you, prosecutor. How so? We have established the time when the doctor burnt his wrist at La Cuentos. The reality of this incident has already changed completely. Do you not understand? Your Honor, we demand further testimony. If the victim had been dead long before the sound of that gunshot, then there's a possibility that the witness knew about that fact. This is beyond my wildest imagination. I never would have thought this trial would be twist after twist. I'm sorry to ask this of you, Miss Brett, but you'll have to give up on your prior arrangements. Are you mad? While our country's judicial system may still be immature, we cannot pass a verdict when so many clear doubts remain. Your Honour. Oh god. Oh. Did she just laugh? Yes, of course. Yes, I'll happily consent to your demands. For the sake of your empire and mine, for the friendship we share with the Empire of Japan, she can speak! Oh, Miss Brett, did you just speak Japanese? Oh, certainly, I know the language. What kind of exchange student doesn't? Then why did you need an interpreter? Queen's English. English is the most beautiful language of all. A lady would never stoop to dirtying her lips with other ugly languages unless she had to. Oh wow. That's a shitty thing to say. Christ. It would seem that gentlemen in this land want for a chivalrous spirit. As such, I am left with no choice but to speak for myself. Oh. You really are a proper British lady. The extent of your goodwill spreads as wide as the great ocean. Very well. Miss Brett, the court requests that you give additional testimony. Tell us what you know of the circumstances surrounding the victim's death. Okay. So, she's finally willing to speak for herself. This is where our fight really begins, Naruhodo. So... the victim's death. Oh, the music! Unfortunately, I do not know when the doctor burned himself. I simply enjoyed my beefsteak and shared a toast with him, remember? I heard the post-mortem states that he was killed with a gun. What else can I say? If there exists a way to kill without leaving a trace, then show it to me. But your inexperienced investigators couldn't possibly produce any new evidence, surely. Huh. That sounds like a fucking challenge. That was the most beautiful testimony that has ever graced this court. You're giving her way too much praise. I hope this is to be the final time I'm forced to speak in this barbaric language. I do sincerely apologise if I have offended you. Not at all, being blessed with such words fills me with joy. I knew all along that the burn mark had nothing to do with it. I'm sure your Minister of Justice would love to hear all about today's trial. That sounds like a threat. Minister of Justice? I'd like to say that the bothersome hoodlum of a student over there receives an increased punishment for his substantiated accusations. Is it amen? Huh? Wow, thanks. Did she just say amen? Yeah, she did. Speaking of bothersome, we're ready for the next cross-examination. I'm sure you've already noticed that this bothersome hoodlum is actually quite exceptional. You shouldn't need reminding that this will be your final chance at a cross-examination. Should there be no issues with the following testimony, then this will truly be the conclusion of the trial. Do you understand, attorney? Understood, sir. Ooh! Alright. Yes, Your Honour. Very well then. You may proceed with the cross-examination. I was not expecting him to slap himself, but, I mean... whatever. Why is it me against Ouchie? It should be me and her. And she should be the bottom banner. Unfortunately, I do not know when the doctor burned himself. But his wrist was on the plate for 3 seconds. There's no way he just didn't notice. Alright, then let's flip things around. Huh? I noticed something at the start of the trial, and you still haven't fixed it. The zip on your black trousers is wide open. Did you notice that? What? 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 Huh. Of course not. That is indeed the truth, defendant. I noticed too. I'm embarrassed just looking at you. You could have said something. Dr. Watson truly was the picture of a British gentleman. He chose silence over making a big fuss. Is that so surprising? Ah, I see. Yes, that certainly does seem plausible. That doesn't make any sense at all. I think that's just a scribble. Anyway. The zip on your trousers is open. I simply enjoyed my beefsteak and shared a toast with him, remember? You just testified a minute ago that it was with carbonated water, right? At the time, Dr. Watson was only allowed to drink liquids. Because of that, he ordered carbonated water. Isn't that right, head waiter? Yes, I'm sure of it. You are correct. However, as for whether the doctor had drunk any water when I carried the beefsteak over, I have no memory of that. Oh! I can read that. It's quite hard, but it says "God damn you." Oh, I know what that means. May God's blessing be upon you, right? I'm pretty sure that's the exact opposite of what it means. Anyway. Okay, so that's how she goes on to her next statement. Just anyway. Oof. I heard the postmortem states that he was killed with a gun. Postmortems can be wrong. That's right, it's written in the report, bled to death after a single shot to the chest. Yes. Fortunately, humans can't die from minuscule burn wounds. And besides that, if no trace of any other cause of death was found on the body, then nothing but the bullet you fired could have killed the victim. But if the burn is from the iron plate, it would have been shortly after it reached the table. That's right. If it had cooled off even a little bit, it wouldn't have been able to leave a burn. And if the burn did come from touching the plate, then naturally at that time he would have already been dead. However, the reality is that the victim died from a gunshot wound. So long as you have no evidence to refute that, your argument is meaningless. Indeed, Prosecutor, Ouchie is correct. What else can I say? If there exists a way to kill without leaving a trace, then show it to me. Yeah, it's called poison. Without a trace. Although they do leave a trace. Whether you shoot with a gun, strangle, stab with a knife, or push someone down. When you take someone's life, there is always a trace left behind. Indeed, that is correct. Our police force investigated everything. I can say that with absolute certainty. Right, Detective Hosonaga? I strive for the most absolutely thorough investigation to the best of my ability. There's no doubt that the average murder would leave behind a trace on the corpse. But is there any method that would be an exception to that rule? Poison! If perhaps by any chance you suspect me, then I would have to request you show me the means by which I killed the doctor. But that's out of the question, isn't it? Don't be absurd. The very nerve suspecting a lovely British woman of such a thing. Such an insolent fellow. I, Ouchie, shall slice him in two. What kind of murder method won't leave a trace? Poison. If you want to prove it, you'll need some sort of evidence. Wait a minute. Is that why she took the glass? What if there was a trace of poison on that glass? And that's the one she took. Not to get rid of any trace that she was there. Evidence. because they wouldn't have inspected the glasses. But your inexperienced investigators couldn't possibly produce any new evidence, surely. What exactly do you mean by inexperienced? In the British Empire, all evidence left at the scene is preserved and investigated by police. But in this country, investigations are one-and-done affairs, correct? Yes, Lacointos is running business as usual today. That's why, even if the situation changes, you wouldn't be able to file new evidence. What was that? And your inexperienced investigators didn't find a single shadow of a doubt. Isn't it nice? It's just so... how do I say this? Magnanimous. Ah, that hits right where it hurts. Those words sting, my lady. Somehow, that prosecutor feels like he's trying to act like a big shot. I'm pretty sure it's just your imagination. Though... Giselle's testimony just now. For just a moment, I feel like something was trying to jump out at me. What do you think, Naruhodo? I can't do it. No matter how much I press her, I can't get anything useful. That's no surprise, she's clearly very stubborn. But if we don't take action now, this cross-examination is over. No. Can't I find even a single clue? Is it really impossible to tear down that foreign bell's testimony? Hey, Yasugi. What is it, Naruhodo? There's actually one thing that bothers me. What bothers you? Is it that lady? Aside from her. No, it's not her. It's the one next to her, Detective Hosonaga. The detective? In that last testimony, I feel like his reaction was pretty unusual. Maybe if I point out the good detective's reaction, he'll spill the beans. That's it. I've got an idea. Try pressing that lady's final statement one more time. Huh? This time, our target isn't that stoic lady, but rather... the detective standing next to her. Oh, I understand. Yasugi must be onto something. I'll try pressing her last statement one more time. Oh great, so we have to go through all of these again. There we go. How do I switch? What exactly do you mean by inexperienced? God, come on. Blah 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 blah. Mate! There we go. That's it. The detective reacted to Giselle's testimony. Up until a short while ago, that detective was on the witness stand as her interpreter. But now he's a witness. But now the situation has changed completely. Detective Hosonaga is now in a position to listen to her testimony. Oh! Maybe this is the chance we've been waiting for. What do you mean? Whenever someone takes the stand to testify, they try not to show any weaknesses. However, when listening to someone else's words, they let their guard down. I see. He's completely lost in thought. Now, why don't we try questioning that detective? Question him? Naruhodo, have a look at the screen. The screen? Ah, yes! Oh, shit. Right now, the lady testifying is our focus. Oh, do I have to swipe? If we slide this cursor, we can look at someone else. Then while you're looking at another person, the option to question will appear. Pushing them while their guard is down might give you new information. Yeah, this is a new mechanic. If anything seems strange, don't hesitate to change your focus. Remember that. First, I'll slide the cursor and look at the detective. Then I question. Alright, let's give it a go. Hooray! Mate! What? There we go. Giotto! What is it? What on earth? Damn near gave him a heart attack. Oops. Sorry. I didn't think I would startle you that much. Wow, I completely bypassed his defenses. This technique is more powerful than I thought. Now it seemed like you were deep in thought about something. Maybe the lovely lady next to you helped you remember something. Ooh. If there's anything you'd like to say, please tell us. What? Just what is this? Did you forget who's testifying right now? If you have no problem with what she said, then this cross-examination is over. Oh, okay. That's not going to fly. What now? As long as he is still on the stand, Detective Hosonaga still qualifies as a witness. Also, he is directly related to the case too. Detective Hosonaga. Yes, Your Honor. Is there anything you wish to say in regards to the testimony just now? Very well then. If Your Honor must ask, I believe I do have something to say. Ooh. Ooh. I was waiting to see if her expression changed. It is true that the Imperial Police investigations are still inexperienced compared to Britain. But I myself, Hosonaga. I live my life by the motto, if you plan to investigate, do it to the utmost perfection. Perfection? Therefore, I myself, Hosonaga, took from the crime scene everything I could get my hands on. All in the name of crime scene preservation. Call me a crime scene thief if you must, but I still did it. Oh dear. You're a crime scene thief. Her insults may have struck a nerve somewhere deep within the detective. For example, this. Oh. Isn't that carbonated water? This is the bottle of carbonated water I brought to the victim's table that day. Now 3 days later, it's just regular water. But this was once carbonated water, let no one say otherwise. It looks like there's still some water left in that bottle. I swear, in this imminent new age, our country's police will become the world's best. I, Hosonaga, believe that from the bottom of my heart. As I cough to death. Sheesh. I don't understand the witness himself, but I certainly understood his claim. The court accepts that beautiful glass bottle as evidence. Carbonated water. Sparkling water, just ale and the victim were drinking on the day of the incident. It was on the victim's table. Examine it. If I may, Miss Brett. Is this, without a doubt, what the victim was drinking with you on that day? Yes. Ah, that very glass bottle. I feel like... just now, it looked like she tried to avert her eyes. Very well then, let's get back to the cross-examination. But before I do, let's examine the bottle. Wait a minute. Oh, that's the liquid. Oh. I thought there'd have been something in it, but I guess not. At the time Dr. Watson was drinking the carbonated water. There's still a little bit left, but it's probably flat by now. Oh, speaking of which, my throat is a little dry. Maybe I should drink some of this, to soothe my throat. No, don't Naruhodo. At the very least, you shouldn't drink the evidence for our case. Yeah, you're right. After all, we don't know if there's anything in it. You're always full of surprises. It's carbonated water. We don't know if there's anything in it. I wonder. What's wrong, Naruhodo? We went silent all of a sudden. Maybe... I've just found another possibility. Just thinking like where I could search, but I don't think I can search anywhere. Okay. Cross-examination. Detective, please try to keep yourself together. So it would have been the last statement, right? Oh right, if there exists a way to kill without leaving a trace. I'm tempted to show the bottle. Can I examine it again? Yeah, I can. I'll just look at the label. This label is written in a foreign language that I've never seen before. What does it say, Asugi? It appears to be French. This is some kind of luxury item. But what does it say? Go to France and ask them. You could have just said you didn't know. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I can't examine... Oh wait, I can. Wait, what? At the time... Oh. So we've already been through this. Wonder if I could just present the water. Like, what if there was poison in this? I don't fucking know. Music went off. That's a good sign. Maybe. This is the glass bottle from earlier. There's only one way the victim could have been killed without leaving a trace. Of course, that would be... Hey! Called it. Poison. Poison? That day, Dr. Watson took a drink of this carbonated water. The liquid inside the bottle could have easily contained poison. And when the doctor drank it, that's when he died. Order, order, order in the court. Who could have poisoned this drink? Or his drink? Maybe it was someone sitting at his table. Only one person fits that description. Of course, that person would be... Miss Giselle Brett. You poisoned Dr. John Watson. You little... How dare you make such wild, baseless conjectures? Even a mere schoolboy like you should understand the position our empire is in. We only just signed the Japanese-Anglo Alliance Treaty. Do you intend to destroy this historical relationship with your mad accusations? This is no place for politics, this is a court to judge criminals' sin. Or sins. What are you saying? Where she's from is irrelevant. Whether she's guilty or not is all that matters. Excuse me, may I interject? I, Ouchie, will forcefully silence all who Oh my god, she told him! The one who should be silenced is you. She just shouted, shut up! Oh, yes ma'am. Yes ma'am. What in the world? Suddenly the air feels so tense. Is this where she's gonna, like, unleash her true colours? Please excuse my earlier remark. I fear it was quite rude. I sincerely apologise from the bottom of my heart. What remark could you be referring to? I call the Japanese police inexperienced. But even with their lack of experience, I'm sure they at least conducted a proper investigation. Surely they investigated whether or not this bottle was laced with poison. They did. Of course we did. Huh? As I had stated earlier, I always strive for perfection. It is my life's goal. But then... Naturally, we have inspected the contents of this glass bottle. My word. And what are the results? After analysing... God, I thought it said analysis. Analysing it against all poisons known to our country, our conclusion is... This carbonated drink contains no poison whatsoever. What if it was a poison we don't know of yet? What? Are you absolutely sure? That is the conclusion reached by the Chief Imperial Medical Examiner himself. What? What? It's like 3 times we've been smacked against that. Jesus. Please allow me to express my sincere gratitude to the people of this country. Pardon me. They so graciously proved my innocence. I am truly in your debt. Of course we did, but